want to talk about Nick Fury's kind of evolution. We have seen him before.
The Nick Fury evolution. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
We've seen him before, but now we see really more of him than ever before. Like, what was that like for you to? I think it's finally a chance for you to like sink your teeth into him. Not that you don't do it when it's a small part as well, but now like we see a lot of Nick.
It's one of those things where, in this particular story, we're dealing with, I guess, something that he sort of put in place or has been trying to put in place for a while. So when he was talking to the council about the SHIELD initiative or the Avengers initiative, whatever, that he was trying to make them understand that there was an otherworldly threat along with the threat we have on the planet of our enemies, and all of a sudden they got it with the Avengers, and now his plan's in full effect. They're building the new helicarriers. They're about to be launched. And Cap's having that, crisis of conscience in that he's just realizing that freedom comes with a price. And that price is greater than it was before he went to sleep or was frozen. In that, Nick had the same ideals he had. He understood freedom, and it was a concept that's a great thing. But now Nick has evolved into this guy that believes not only do we need to keep our guns pointed at, the enemy, but we got to keep guns pointed at the people we're talking about, keeping safe too. And Cap sees that as having them hostage. So they're at a sort of crossroads about that. And because Nick is always so smart and he's 3-4 steps ahead of everybody else, he always thinks, all of a sudden he's surprised to find out, that he's not as smart as he thought he was, that somebody's, a couple of steps ahead of him. So now we find out, who he is and what he's made of.
I like the fact that Captain America is kind of navigating this new world with technology and all this stuff. But really, I think his biggest navigation is his relationships with people. What is his relationship with Nick like? Like, how do they get along and where do they find themselves?
Well, they respect each other as soldiers. First of all, he knows that Nick's been under the gun, and Nick knows who he is and what he's done, in service to his country. And they both have that mutual warrior respect of soldiers who have one thing that they believe. And I think they respect each other as just, men too. It's really a matter of one coming to understand how one's thinking got to a certain point. So Cap's trying to figure out how Nick got to that place, and Nick's wondering when he's going to catch up and get to this place he's in. So it's just, guys being guys.
Now, you and Robert Redford in the same room together, I think, is a movie gold. You'd never worked together before?
No, not really. I almost had a chance to work with him years ago in a movie called Castle, but I was doing something else at the time, so I didn't get to go there.
So what was this like?
It was great. He and I sat and talked before we shot the scene. And these two guys are supposed to be contemporaries. They've been in some stuff together and been through some things. So when we got there to the scene, it worked like we'd known each other, some 30, 40 years. It was great.
Movie gold.
Yeah.
Made in Hollywood.